Today marks 2 weeks since the disappearance of Lauren Spear, and as police continue to follow up on leads, a desperate plea from Lauren's father.
We all know that this Sunday is Father's Day.
Choking back tears, the parents of 21-year-old Lauren Spear have only one wish for Father's Day.
The greatest gift that Robbie could have is information about Lauren.
The Indiana University student has been missing for 2 weeks now. Since then, Bloomington police and friends have been desperately searching for her. Friday, officers found a bag of clothes and a shoebox at a dumpster at the Smallwood Plaza Apartments. They hope this will help lead them to Lauren.
Our effort to try to find Lauren will not stop.
Yesterday, police released this map detailing what they believe are Lauren's last moments before she disappeared, and a picture of this pickup truck, which is also believed to be connected to the case.
We talked yesterday that, we can't tell. And, certainly I know that that is a hot topic on blogs and tips that have come in and things like that. And, at this point, I wish we could tell you what was in the back of that truck.
Meanwhile, in Lauren's hometown of Westchester, friends and neighbors have not given up hope and are praying to find her.
You think like, wow, that's really sad, but then when you know the person, it just hits you a lot harder.
My heart goes out to Rob, Charlene, and again, Father's Day coming up. It's tragic to not have the one you love.
Bloomington police have questioned several people in regards to this case, including 3 men Lauren was seen partying with, but still no suspects. Reporting from the Upper East Side, J. Paul Bernard, Fox 5 News. The historic passing of the gay marriage bill did not happen overnight. In fact, it's been in the works for more than 40 years. Some say the current movement started right here in New York City at the Stonewall Inn. With a few strokes of Governor Cuomo's pen, the deal was finally done. Same-sex marriage in New York has become a reality. And it was no easy fight. The fight for same-sex marriage dates back to 1969 at a gay bar in the West Village called the Stonewall.
We could dance with each other. You could do a cha-cha with a guy, a Lindy, a slow dance.
This night, the raid ended in violence. The patrons had had enough and fought back, tossing beer cans and bricks. Many believe the Stonewall riots were the catalyst of the gay rights movement.
1 year after the protests, a few hundred gays and lesbians and their supporters gathered at the Stonewall Inn to lead a historic march for equality. But when they reached Central Park, the few hundred that began the march had swelled to 5,000. Something had changed, and it would never change back. 43 years later, the Stonewall is still standing, not just as a bar in the village, but as a historic landmark with its own place in history.
Who knew? 42 years later, marriage, equal right, job opportunities, everything, no discrimination. Years ago, you can get fired, thrown out of an apartment house, thrown out of school, anything for being a homosexual. Step by step, we came all this way.
New York is now the 6th largest state to pass gay marriage. Reporting from Lower Manhattan, J. Paul Bernard, Fox 5 News. With major cheating investigations in Philadelphia and Atlanta, conversations about the topic have started here in New York State. And while there is no evidence of any widespread cheating here, there are some schools in the city under investigation. At Lehman High School in the Bronx and the American Sign Language and English Secondary School in Manhattan, a state audit found that the Regents' scores were higher than what independent reviewers found. That basically, the schools were giving full credit to answers that were vague, incomplete, or inaccurate. These schools are 2 of several schools under investigation by the DOE. At this time, the DOE doesn't have exact numbers on the investigations. Earlier this week, when releasing the elementary and middle school scores, the mayor addresses questions about cheating.
Whenever you have a large number of people, there's always somebody trying to scam the system. To the best of my knowledge, there is no evidence or even allegations of widespread cheating.
In a statement today, Chancellor Walcott said of the investigations, "We take allegations of cheating and test tampering seriously, and every case is fully investigated by Commissioner Condon or our Office of Special Investigations." Sometimes the DOE is tipped off through teachers at schools on anonymous tip lines, and at other times a big jump in test scores looks a little bit too fishy. Education expert Pedro Noguero doesn't believe there's widespread cheating in New York, but says that policymakers should take a closer look about how much they emphasize test scores.
Schools are being judged by their test scores. Principals are being fired, superintendents are being fired if scores don't raise. In that kind of an atmosphere, you increase the likelihood that people will cheat.
Earlier this week, the state announced it would create a task force to take a look at cheating. They may also take a closer look at what's called Eurosure analysis to see if any answers have been changed. that was stopped here in the city a few years back, and the mayor says if the state wants to bring it back, they need to fund it as well.